presentation. So as it's been pointed out to me this evening, this is my very first great event. I'm actually a really fun person, so when I saw a great event, I should have come all the other years, because who doesn't want to be at something called the great event? So welcome everybody. My name is Karen Ramirez, and I'm the new principal at St. Albert the Great School. Thank you so much. Myself and the school community, everybody that worked on this, we're so grateful that you're here. Your presence tonight is, as usual, a beautiful sign of how deeply this community cares about our school and our students. Before we get started with the official awards and inductees for our Hall of Fame, I do want to acknowledge that this night would really not be possible without the extraordinary dedication of our volunteer parents, our teachers and staff, and I want to offer a special thank you to our FSA board for their leadership and generosity, and especially to Erica and Peter Ferrari, who were the chairs of our event. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Their time, energy, and love for our school are all really gifts to us, and it shows in this beautiful venue and beautiful setup. So thank you to everybody that made this night possible. Everything that we do at St. Albert the Great is rooted in our core values. Veritas, which means truth, and that guides our learning. Mens, the formation of our thoughtful, curious minds. And Sanctitas, the most important, holiness, that shapes who we are and how we treat one another. So tonight's support ensures that these values remain alive and vibrant for our students now and for generations to come. So if I forget to say it later, thank you for being part of our mission, for believing in Catholic education, and for walking with us in faith and community. And everybody, please enjoy the evening, and thank you again for supporting St. Albert the Great. Now, before we get started with even more formal remarks, let's see who's in the house. So clap loudly and cheer loudly if you are representing pre-K. Where are pre-K parents? All right. How about kindergarten? We got kindergarten families in the house? Where are my first grade parents at? I know you're here. All right, thank you for clapping, and I'll be over to your tables in a little while to open your juice boxes and snack bags so you get the full SATG experience. What about my second grade families? Where are you at? All right. On Monday, I can set aside some time with the priests if you need confession, depending on how tonight goes. What about third grade? Where are my third grade parents at? Well represented. Students being taught by last year's honoree, Miss Debbie Carr. How about fourth grade? We got fourth grade parents in the house? Love it. Tomorrow, make sure that you tell your children that I am almost in the fifth arena in Class Royale. They will know what I mean. They ask me every day. How about fifth grade? Fifth grade parents? Oh, come on now, fifth grade? Well, being taught by our current honoree, Miss Tina Brzezinski, so that's a good representation there of our lower grades. Let's see how well we are represented in our upper grades. And because I know 6th, 7th, and 8th graders so well, I'm going to do you all as one lump sum. How about my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade parents? Where are you at? All right, very good. And then nice loud cheers if you have been here for every single great event. Where are you people at? All right, so wonderful. We appreciate all of your support for our school and, of course, for this event. When we started planning for this year's great event, I was challenged to think about who we might honor. assessing what I know about St. Albert the Great, which at the time, admittedly, was not as much as I would have liked to, I concluded a few things that led me to this year's honorees. I concluded that the faculty and staff here is the most dedicated I've ever come across. I truly challenge you to find a group of people who enjoy working with each other more than the teachers and staff at St. Albert the Great. So, will all the faculty and staff please stand and be recognized? Stand up. Stand up. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And so, despite a little bit of instability in the role of principal over the last few years, the teachers were still supported and the students were still learning and growing. So one honoree became very obvious. Growing up in the Brighton Park and McKinley Park neighborhoods of Chicago, watching Catholic schools close and parishes consolidate, I know how rare it is to have a flourishing parish, and it is an understatement to call St. Albert the Great flourishing. It's it's very understated. It's an amazing parish. The dedicated pastor, the associate pastors, the deacons, the staff, and the missionary sisters of Christ the King create a parish with booming attendance and over 800 students in religious ed programs. So now I'll ask that all the members of our parish staff please stand up. There's a whole table of you. Thank you so much. So as I reflected on that, I knew that our next honoree needed to be a parishioner that has given a life of service, not only to his career, but to his faith. And then finally, we're often hearing the phrase, we are only as strong as our weakest member. Although in the school, whenever I follow behind the preschoolers, I always say we're only as fast as our slowest member, which means we get places very slowly. Stressing the connectivity between our current school students and families with students and parents of the past is the only way that we can really stay our strongest. Engagement with our alumni means viability for the future. So today we honor these members. A special member of our SATG faculty and staff who carries the burden of leadership and the joy of teaching, Ms. Tina Brzezinski. We also honor tonight a generous, lifelong parishioner who has worked to ensure the future of St. Albert the Great stays great for years to come, Mr. Louis Viverito. And before we hear a little bit more about the individual honorees, it really is my pleasure this year to acknowledge for the first time an alumni class. In this case, the class of 2000, I'm honoring for being linked in the chain that connects our current students to their very important past. Now, as some of you know, my husband and I, our youngest daughter is in her first year at the Naval Academy. Yes, and as is the mantra of Annapolis, and I can't go without saying it, so sorry, Joe, beat Army. The Academy teaches that midshipmen, that they are a link in the chain, and that the chain is strong and long. This theory describes an unbreakable bond between generations of alumni and current midshipmen, emphasizing mentorship, shared legacy, and unwavering support, linking past, present, and future naval officers. This connection ensures ideals, experiences, and the spirit of service are passed down. In reflecting on this, I knew that in order for us to truly acknowledge the opportunity for the present school community, we must appreciate those that have gone before us. The class of 2000 recently celebrated their 25th anniversary. As a nod to the link theory, our current student St. Albert Sabres share a legacy with these alumni, and it's my pleasure to honor them today as the first class inducted into our Hall of Fame. If you are here from the class of 2000 and you're not already standing, please stand so that you can hear a round of applause. I think we've got a couple in the back. They will be honored with a Time Award and plaque at our school, which will be up in the front office area when you come in. So that leads me then to our next honoree. Mr. Louis Viverito is being honored for his quiet and humble generosity. He's helped support the parish with gifts that have kept our church standing strong, often preferring to remain behind the scenes, but always ensuring that our community would continue to grow and thrive. As it says in the book of Proverbs, a generous person will be enriched, and one who gives water will get water. Therefore, it is with deep gratitude and admiration that we welcome Mr. Louis Viverito into our Hall of Fame, honoring him further and sharing more about his remarkable achievements and his unwavering commitment to faith, education, and service is his daughter, Diane. Please welcome her to the stage.
Good evening, Father, Mariucci, all the parishioners, the parents, the families, the parishioners who've been with us at St. Albert's for a long time. I have to say that I'm just truly honored to stand here as both a member of this community and more personally as the daughter of Louis, who I must say, and I hope he doesn't mind, he will be 95 in May. So, and I have to say, this writing some remarks about his life was harder than most of the other times I've had to get up in front of a microphone, because he's had a long and amazing life, and he's done so many things that he never knew he was going to do that have continued to just surprise all of us. In fact, he still surprises me, and as you know, he kept working until just a few short months ago. So it's been hard to encapsulate anything about his life in a few couple of minutes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to talk a little bit about what I think you might not know about him that I know. And because his life has been so public in the last, especially 30 years, 40 years, but his Catholic faith has informed every aspect of his life, starting from when he was a child. He grew up poor. I'm just going to say it that way. He's from Bridgeport. He's from down the street of White Sox Park. His mom was an immigrant from Croatia. His dad was the son of an Italian immigrant. His dad drove a fruit truck, and he didn't make much money. And my father had to start working quite early in his life. He did odd jobs as a child. And that was one of the, I think, formative things about his childhood, was that he immediately, quickly, and at a very young age, had a realization of the duty of responsibility to his family. He loves family, he loves his family, and like the community here, he's dedicated to his family. And he had many jobs, but I'm just going to say the three things I'm going to mention about his childhood are the only three things that I've ever heard about his childhood. It seems like these were the three formative things, and they are, in many ways, the Catholic story. He was working, actually, one of his jobs was working in a summer camp, a Catholic Christian summer camp, and he did this when he was like 12 or 13, and it was tough, and whatever he had to do, clean whatever he had to clean, but he said one thing that was really important to him was he listened to the leaders there when they spoke to the kids. And he listened carefully, and they told him and they told the kids there that hard work, caring for others, helping others, and being with good people, surrounding yourself with the right kinds of people, to make good choices about your friends, to make good choices about the people that you decided to spend your time with. That is a formative experience from my dad. Another aspect of his childhood that he remembers very clearly was in the middle of a school year, he had to leave his Catholic school. It was because they couldn't pay the note. And he really, I think that really stayed with him a long time. It is the one story he actually tells more. He doesn't tell many childhood stories, but he tells that one. So I think that experience of being raised Catholic, being raised in a family where he was the oldest of 5 children. So he took on the responsibility of hard work and commitment to his family very early on. He married young. He married my mother. She was 18, he was 20. And I mean, it's just remarkable to think back on those times, but they both lost their fathers. My mom lost her father at the age of 16, and my dad lost his 2 weeks before their marriage. And so their young life together was a realization that things aren't always easy, but if you have each other and you support each other and you love each other, you will survive. They have thrived, and I'll talk more about that, but that was their early experience together. And then just 3 months after they were married, he was drafted into the military and had to go to South Korea. And he was gone for 19 months from his lovely bride. So that was another one of his formative experiences. And when he came back, he was looking for a path forward and how he could make a living. Just making a living was so important to him. And he chose to go to Chicago Barber College. And that was because he said he wanted to be close to home. He wanted to be close to his lovely wife, and he wanted to be able to be close to the children that he had soon after that. In his early 20s, he came to Stickney Township. And it was so important to him to be connected with St. Albert's. He's only been a few blocks from St. Albert's his entire life. He didn't ever want to go anywhere else. We have to beg him to take a vacation. It's just, he loves St. Albert's. He absolutely loves his community, and working hard on behalf of others has been his mission in life. And it really is the St. Albert mission, to help others and work for others. So that's who my dad has been, and that's who I think of when I think of my dad. I don't think as much about, of course, we all know his amazing accomplishments, going from his barbershop to the Senate, going into the assistant leadership role, and then he was, of course, the township supervisor. But I want to say a little something about the barbershop. I was surprised when she said he was humble, because a lot of times I thought, well, that's what people don't know, because I see him as going out in the community and being a leader. But I remember the barbershop when I was a little girl. I remember that was his way to act out his values. He was respectful, he was kind, he was quiet. People developed an affection for him, and he was like a small town barber, and he did not go after politics. Politics came to him. A young man who was forming a coalition to help the community, clean up the community. He asked my dad, he persuaded my dad, he urged my dad, and my dad finally took the trustee, lowest position at the township. He was urged to participate because people liked him. And I think that it's just kind of interesting to know that, because it doesn't always show now when he walks in a room and he seems important. I mean, he wasn't like that early on. And I think that those are the things I remember. My dad working hard, working 6 days a week, working 12 hours a day. And his main goal was to put us in Catholic school. And I and my brother, we celebrated our first Holy Communion at the old charming St. Albert's. And it is one of the formative memories of my life. I never, it's so important, and my parents made our life important around St. Albert's. I think I would like to skip a lot because there is a lot here. And hold on a minute. So, my dad's decisions were solid, good decisions. He always was committed to the community. Those early days, and before it was Burbank, before it was unincorporated Stickney Township, those are the days I remember so well because it was all mostly St. Albert's families working together, talking together, picnicking together, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, all of those community things. We all cared about each other. I really grew up in a neighborhood where it felt like we all cared about each other. And my dad's mission has remained that way, to care about his community. It's so sincere, it's so real, and that is kind of all he does. Except for one other thing I would like to say, which I think so greatly illustrates my dad's faith, and that is his marriage with my mom. They have been married 74 years. And when they celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary, I wanted to throw a big party, and they just absolutely, I was insisting, I tried. They did not want a big party. They only wanted to have a party in the church basement, in the church social hall, and celebrate it with people from St. Albert's that they didn't even really know. That is just what they wanted, and they got just what they wanted, and it was lovely, and it's a great memory. And I'm grateful for their commitments. I have to say this about their marriage. When you talk about the sacrament of marriage, I think my parents have lived this each and every day. It's astonishing to me and true that my parents, they love each other so much, but they never argue. They get along. They never raise their voices. I mean, it's amazing to me that I could be in a home with these two people for all these years and continue to be around them, and I've never heard it. I've never heard it. It's been an amazing, beautiful partnership that is just, it's a marriage made in heaven. Let's just say it that way. So I guess I could talk about his commitments at the township where he found his mission in life. His mission at the township supervisor, in the Senate, he was able to bring home resources, but at the township is about the services, and he just thrived in that environment where he could bring things to people that people needed, where he could care for people who had less, where he could provide things for kids, for families, for seniors. He loved it, and he looked across the street at St. Albert's every day of those 52 years, whenever he was in that building, which is pretty much about every day. And I just think it was some kind of symbiotic, beautiful relationship for him that the Catholic school that he couldn't go to became, his mission became really being engaged with his faith. His faith is deep. His faith has sustained our family through some difficult times, and so has this church. And we appreciate it so much. We love you all. I love my parents and my dad so much. This has been a little challenging and hard for me to do, but I want to say thank you so much for this honor. And I want to say that it is the biggest honor of his life, I believe. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce him.
Okay.
Can I walk down?
Yeah. Do you want me
Thank
to take
you.
it? I'll
Yes,
actually go
please.
this way with the award. So now I'd like to invite Mr. Viverito to make some remarks this evening. Congratulations as an inductee of the 2026 Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Diane, my daughter. I think she really told a good story. But if you could remember that announcement, no, that's true. But I want you to know how I'm be here with all of you. And especially now at Carolyn, because everything I've done in life, I've done with my partner. And to me, that's the gift. After all, that's how long it means. Especially my young friends, my grandson David, Scott, and Joe, and all of them, I tell them, the most important thing we can do in life is try to marry this man. And I still believe that. If you marry well, you do well. If you don't marry well, you don't do well. Trust me, we can bring it to the bank. But I am so humble and honored with the words that were spoken about my daughter. And when it makes me reminisce when I went to All Saints, I cried and when my dad bought his first house at 33rd Cornell. And I had to go to the phone, and I cried. I didn't want to go to public school. I wanted to be a good Catholic. I was an altar boy, studied for altar boy. I did things that I wanted to do, and I just love the Catholic institution. But I can say this, in the early 50s when we moved here, out of Korea, $500 down, and a GI loan, and joined the St. Albert Parish, and the water used to all be in a parking lot in the Rio Church. And I remember those things vividly. And I remember the streets were overflowing with water. We had the septic systems. We had a lot of issues. It wasn't Burbank then, it was Stickney Township. And at my little barber shop, the people were so good to me and let me make a decent living. I had Louis Stella, Louis Cavalier, John Reed. I ended up with 4 barbers over there. I couldn't believe it. I was so grateful. But the opportunity to watch the parish grow and to be able to understand how important academics are and to realize what St. Albert's has achieved in academics and kids going on to good high schools and colleges and what has been done there, the growth, the development, new church. Father Maliush has done a job at St. Albert's like I have never, ever experienced. Always have been, to me, I know all of the priests at St. Albert's. Many of them used to come to our home, Father Lynch, Father Makoviak. I can remember almost all of them. And all of them had a talent, but nobody worked like Father Lynch. When I see the changes in the parish, and all the buildings, and the growth, and the development, and the financial obligations of trying to keep a parish up and to be competitive with others, and seeing the children that are wanting to come to St. Albert's, they come from all over. A multicultural group that is being enhanced with education. And when they go on to high school, some of the high schools, they're the best in the school. I've watched St. Lawrence grow and develop, and the contact now between Lawrence and St. Albert's is getting renowned throughout the state of Illinois. They're talking about Albert's and how many kids are over there and how good they're doing academically. That's due to your people that are so dedicated here. So when Carolyn and I decided to make a small contribution, which we've had through the years, we were honored to do that. And everything that I've ever done in life, it was always with Carolyn. And Carolyn was a part of that contribution, that growth, that development. That was hard work for saving for years and years and years put away. But I thought, what better place is it than to be able to help our parents grow even more, and the children to get an advantage, or you need another washroom, or you need another something. You never stop needing something. And if I ever hit the lottery, you guys will get quite a bit. I really don't have much more to say than I'm proud of St. Albert's. I'm extremely touched by the fact that multicultural area that you have, where I see Filipino children, I see Spanish children, I see Italian children, I see Polish children, I see Croatian people, all going to a school and all having brotherly love for one another. Does that not tell you the growth and development that's going on over there? If everybody's proud of St. Albert's, we would have a better place to live. God bless you all for that.
Our final honoree this evening, Ms. Tina Brzezinski. And as luck would have it, she's been the topic of conversation this evening because her daughter was not well, but now she's here. So 3 lovely, wonderful people in this building have remarks prepared for Tina, which seems really appropriate that she would like 3 people to stand up here and talk all about how wonderful she is. But it really is, it's been a wonderful opportunity for her and I. She hired me, so she has good taste. And she's been a wonderful confidant. She's been a superb friend. She's been a leader inside of our building. She is someone who, despite all things, cares for kids, has conversations with them that put them in the driver's seat of their learning. And so it really is my pleasure to honor her tonight as an inductee in our 2026 Class Hall of Fame. But I will turn the microphone over to her daughter, Britt, who will say very charming things about her. And then Jeanette and I will have to read our remarks to her privately later.
Hi, everyone. I'm already getting emotional. Okay, so for those who don't know, my mom is a terrible, terrible gift giver. For Christmas this year, she got everyone like a kitchen fire safety blanket. Woohoo! Thanks, Mom! Awesome! I mean, like, I got one, my brother got one, my uncle got one, my cousins got one. It's like, okay, great. She really thinks, like, this is a fantastic gift. And then we all joke because it's, easy to laugh at. And then afterwards, there's this kind of insecurity of like, I thought that was a good idea. And then she'd say, I just suck. You suck at gift giving. Yeah, you do. But I'm here to share with you all, and Mom, share with you, that the physical gifts, they don't matter in the long run, right? Who cares about a fire blanket or, I don't know, a throw blanket, whatever. It's the emotional gifts, it's the subtle gifts that truly make a difference. And I think everyone here today who has recognized you and chosen you as an inductee can see that the gifts of honesty that you very much bring to the table, for better or for worse, we cherish that. And we know that if we come to you, you will give us your honest feedback. Your loyalty to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, to your students. You would give your shirt off of your back for someone who is in need. And I think we all see that and value that. And your love. You love so deep, so hard for the people in your life, for the people that you care about. And again, we are here to recognize that in you. So Mom, even though you aren't a great physical gift giver, the gifts that truly matter, love, honesty, truthfulness, commitment, those just pour out of you. So I'm really thankful to be here today to congratulate and celebrate you on this recognition. So, way to go, Mom.
We absolutely can. So let's give Ms. Brzezinski a way to go. All right, I'd like to invite Tina up here to share some remarks and formally induct her into the class of 2026 St. Albert the Great Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, nobody picking up. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. Thank you. I do have a speech prepared, but I do love a stage too, so thank you all so much. I am truly honored to accept this award, and I humbly thank the group of people who felt that I deserved to receive it. There are no words to describe the love and gratitude I have for my husband, Jeff, and my wonderful children, Brittany, Jeffrey, and Nicole. Thank you for supporting me and putting up with my daily sorrows. This honor is not just about me, though. It's always been the shared mission of the school, the teachers, the staff, the students, the parents, and the parish. I think it means that in some small way, we might have made a difference in this world, at least in our little corner of it. I have been blessed to come to work every day for over 14 years to a place that I absolutely love, with people that I am very grateful to know. I don't think there are a lot of people that can say that. Thinking back to when I first started, I was probably having what I now know might have been a midlife crisis. Teaching wasn't my first career, although it was definitely the one that had been calling me since I was a child playing school. I liked being in charge. After Brittany and Jeffrey were born, I knew that I wanted to be at home more for them, and having received my teaching degree in college years earlier, thought, why not? It turned out to be the best decision that I ever made. I was able to do what I loved. I felt that I had a career where I could actually help and make a difference. And I had more time to be at home with my kids. Plus, I had summers off. I was living the dream. When I first came to St. Albert, I was surrounded by the true legends of this school, who welcomed me with open arms. These women taught me, mentored me, and became my friends. They had careers spanning 25 to over 40 years. Most of them still come to school faithfully as guest teachers and volunteers. I remember coming home from work one of the first days I was at St. Albert and saying to Jeff, these women are so nice, but they're all really a lot older. Now I look around school and I say the same thing, except now I'm the old one. It's okay though. Retirement looks amazing on all of them, and I'm getting much closer to joining them. But today I still work with an amazing team of teachers, administrators, and support staff. Thank you all. Our school's core values, which Karen mentioned, mens, veritas, and sanctitas, have guided me as an educator. Mens, the mind. I believe that education is not about filling minds, but about helping to shape them. Veritas, truth. I hope that I've helped my students speak truth, seek truth, and live truth with kindness. And sanctitas, holiness. Teaching in a Catholic school means recognizing that every child is made in the image and likeness of God. It means understanding that our work is not just academic, but it's also spiritual. That what we do in the classroom can and hopefully does spill out into the world. If I have done anything worthy of this honor, it is because I have always been surrounded by a community that lives these values every day. I honestly can't believe that I'm now a part of this institution's history, when so many others who came before me equally deserve it. I'm honored to share this Hall of Fame award with so many amazing people. Debbie, Joe, Diane, Jean, Mary Kay, Marlene, Tom, and of course, Robin. Thank you for being an example of dedication and service. Our work is not done though. My hope for the next generation of students, teachers, and families who come through the doors of St. Albert the Great is that we root our children in truth, understanding that we are more blessed to give than to receive, that we're able to integrate rigorous academics with Christian values in our world, and that our children are able to develop a personal relationship with Christ. I am very proud to be part of this community's legacy of faith, knowledge, and service, and I very humbly thank you for this honor.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. And I can't believe my daughter was here. Thank you. Go this way?
Yeah. Just be careful. All right, that rounds out all of our announcements, our honorees. One more big hand for everybody. Christina Brzezinski, Mr. Louis Vigorino, and the class of 2000 from St. Albert the Great. Just a few housekeeping things. The buffet is open, I think I heard, until about 9:30. And then at around 10 o'clock, the baskets will close and we will announce the raffle winners in that regard. Don't forget to buy raffle tickets, 50/50 tickets, get yourself some more drinks, mingle and have fun. The dance floor will be open. And thank you again for supporting St. Albert the Great. We appreciate everything. Thank you so much.